2, 3, 4, 5. Jack and Chesco in the morning. Welcome back to Jack and Chesco in the morning.
How you guys doing today?
I'm doing well. I think this is a much anticipated episode of ours because Pokemon plays a very large part in our friendship and just the two of us individually too.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Definitely. Glad to be here this Sunday morning. I hope you all are having a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Today's episode, we're going to be talking about video games, more specifically Pokemon, a series that we both love. And I know we kind of talked about it last time, but we said that we wanted to do like a video games episode. And I was telling Pauly a little before the show, like, maybe we'll like let's touch a little bit on that because we had like video game takes. But Pokemon in particular, we want to celebrate because it's Pokemon Day tomorrow. If you don't know, Pokemon Day is the anniversary of.
Are we watching the Pokemon Presents?
Oh, I don't know. Who?
What time is it? Do you know?
6 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah, God no. But Pokemon Day is basically the celebration of the first games, Pokemon Red and Green, being released in Japan in 1996 on February 27th. I know that day better than I know most of my friends' birthdays. As Pauly
When's my
said,
birthday?
What?
When's my birthday?
Oh shit. September? No, really? I thought it was September.
No.
August?
Yeah.
15th.
August 30th.
30th.
Chesco's birthday is May 5th.
I have the easiest birthday.
Yeah, he has an easy birthday to remember.
But basically, the reason why I love this, I know this day by heart, is because Pokemon is such a it is probably the most, like, my biggest influence when it comes to just, like, my career and what I want to do in life. And even, like, some ways of thinking. So it's just, and, like, Pauly, shares that same sentiment. So we are going to talk a little bit about this stupid-ass series today. If you guys actually want to come talk Pokemon with us, you could call in at 714-516-6187. But otherwise, I think we should get started. I think let's start with
what was your introduction?
How we got into the series. Oh, we have someone calling in.
Do you want to just continue with your introduction?
I will talk about my introduction to the series. But basically, I got into the series because I had a neighbor that had the trading cards. And I remember I thought that it looked super, 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 super cool. And then the TV show came on, and I would wake up every Saturday morning for a new episode, watching Ash and Pikachu. And then eventually, I got my first game, which was Pokemon Heart Gold. And it was really the game that, like, solidified my love for the series. Because I remember when I had played video games as a kid. I had my introduction, like, maybe 3 years prior.
Chesco, I'm going to let you finish. We have a call-in.
We do have a call-in.
And he wants to go on air.
Who is our call-in today?
Our call-in, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hello?
Who is this?
Hey, Chesco, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I only got a little bit of time right now before I got to go do something. I want to ask you a question about Pokemon.
Let's go.
All right. Favorite generation and why? I know you're kind of getting into it because you were talking about your first game. Give a very detailed explanation as to which generation is your favorite.
Easy. My favorite generation is.
I'm never going to talk to you again.
What'd you say?
And if it's not Gen 3, I'm never speaking to you again.
Well, I guess this is our last conversation because my favorite gen is Gen 4.
Damn.
Gen 4 is so good in its atmosphere, its lore, and especially the lore building. And just, like, what it did for the series, like, how it, like, basically, it managed to gaslight everyone into forgetting that, like, Pokemon was, like, a one-screen game. So when it eventually, like, people were talking about, like, the Switch coming, it's like, how are they going to do it without 2 screens? And it's like, no, guys, we've done it before. But I love Gen 4 for its characters, its lore, its the soundtrack. Oh, my God. And, like, just the quality of those games were very, very good. I was talking about it earlier, but I played Heart Gold, and as a kid, I had my introduction to video games, like, a couple years prior, but this was the game that made me go, oh my God, video games are an art form. Like, they like this small team of people put together this vast game that I still play to this day. I'll replay Heart Gold and Soul Silver like all the time, at least once a year. And it just like the world that they did and the art, like just the creative like freedom that they had making this game really showed me like how far video games can go as a medium. And that's also, you know, a big reason why Pokemon Heart Gold is my personal favorite game of all time. So, yeah. I love Gen 4.
Since you didn't say Gen 3, I'm not allowed to speak to you again. So I'm going to get my twin, Jit number 2, on the phone, and then I'll have him speak to you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, this is Jit number 2.
Hey, how you doing?
I got a question for you as well.
Yeah.
Out of the Pokemon games on the 3DS, Jack, I want you to answer this one as well.
Okay.
Out of the Pokemon games on the 3DS that you've played, which one of them is your favorite? And I'm not talking about generations. I mean, like, the individual game itself.
Alpha Sapphire.
I was going to say, I think it would be, I think it's Alpha Sapphire for me.
It's Alpha Sapphire. I played the shit out of that game. I know a lot of people really trash on that game. They're like, oh, the remakes, they didn't have the Battle Frontier, and they didn't have this, and it was like, oh, it was sloppy. It was beautiful looking. It was fun to play. The mechanics were solid.
Pretty innovative, too, with the SOAR feature.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
like, set the groundwork.
Not only that, the Dex Nav.
The Dex
all the
Nav.
features that they crammed into that game, pretty great.
I would
And
say
it was great. I completed the Pokedex. Like,
people need to look at
National Dex.
Oris as a reboot of Gen 3, not a remake. And once you look at it that way, it's so much better tenfold. I don't think it does the best job remaking Gen 3, but it's still a solid game. That's just how I feel. It's probably my favorite of the Pokemon 3DS games.
Same. All right, Jit number 2. Do you have any other questions, or? Because I know you need to go.
What's your favorite color?
Red.
Green. I'm a green kind of guy.
Pokemon nerds.
I'm a green cell.
Red and green. That's crazy.
Dude, that's actually crazy. I actually didn't even think about that.
Green is just such a nice, lush color, you know?
All right, well, you guys keep having fun on the show. All right? I'll
Hey,
catch you guys
thank you
later.
for calling in.
Yes, thank you so much for calling in, Jit number 2 and Jit
no
number
problem,
1.
man. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Catch you guys later.
Talk to you later.
Peace
Bye-bye.
out.
Hello?
Oh, we have another caller? But basically, yeah, I mean, I kind of finished it right there, but Pokemon Heart Gold, I got into the series right there, and it's been a series that has taught me just, like, the wonders of, like, exploration and just, like, discovering new, like, it enhanced my love for, like, finding weird shit in the world. Like, I love learning about crazy, like, new island discovered after like centuries of being lost, or like new species of animal, like, and part of that love is for Pokemon, because Pokemon encourages you to go into the world and be totally like naive, just get lost in like everything, and like kind of inspires me just to like, or at least as a kid, you know, it really fueled me just like look at the world and like every new discovery, like let your mind be blown by it. Like, just get lost in it. And I don't know.
I think it's a combination of that, the aspect of discovery and adventure that the Pokemon games bring, and it's a combination of that plus just being a kid, because everyone's favorite generation is the generation they played as a kid. That's
right.
like a fact. My favorite gen is Gen 5, because that's the one I grew up with playing as a kid. And the main reason for that, and this is a combination of like exploration plus you're a dumb idiot kid and you don't know what's happening.
Exactly.
Right? So you'll try things and you won't think about things like game mechanics or like how the game is designed or like technical restrictions or stuff like that on the game, right?
Yeah.
As an adult, I play these games and I'm like, okay, I know how EVs, IVs work. I know the spawn rates of these Pokemon. I know like all this stuff, right? I know, sleepy shit. But it's not like I can stop myself from knowing that, right? I just know it.
Yeah.
Whereas when I played these
But
games
I just
as
like
a
to
kid,
go in and be like, I like the cool animals. I want them on my
I know.
team.
I do the same thing, but I can't unlearn what I've learned about the Pokemon, like the games and how they're designed and stuff like that. As a kid, when I was playing these games, I was like, oh, wow. I wonder if I could find this legendary Pokemon at the bottom of these abyssal ruins.
Yeah.
And of course it wasn't there because I watched a ROM hack on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was obviously a ROM hack. It looked fake as shit.
I think I know what you're talking
kid.
about.
Yes.
I know exactly what video
Something
you're
orange, right?
Yeah.
But like I
Munching Orange.
Munching Orange.
Munching Orange.
I remember I used to watch his videos. I'd be
He
like,
was a
dude,
OG
I could do this.
PokeTuber.
Right?
Yeah.
But like, as an adult, I can't do that. You know?
Yeah.
It's just something that you can only do as a kid, and only experience really as a kid. I think what's special about Gen 4 though is that it has so much character and lore that as an adult I was finding these new things. I was like, holy shit, you can go this way? Like, oh wow, there's this thing I didn't even see the first time I went through. So I think that is a strong point for those games.
I would honestly put, if I get to count it, I would totally put the Diamond and Pearl soundtrack in like my top 10 favorite albums ever.
Put it. What?
Like,
Why
I
not?
honestly, the Diamond and Pearl soundtrack, it manages to perfectly capture the atmosphere of the world. There are routes that just like scream like sunny day, go run out, go have fun. The Snow Point City, which is as the name suggests, a city that is basically covered in snow, has this very quiet ambience to it. And then one of the final areas in the game, basically, if you don't know how the games work, you go through the 8 gym leaders and you get the badges. And once you have 8 badges, you go to the Pokemon League and fight to be the champion. And just right there, the Pokemon League theme is
It's really good.
It's this perfect like piano piece that just like symbolizes like you've come so far, now take home the gold. Like look back, like just like playing in a gameplay perspective. And then the final fight theme, Cynthia's theme is legendary. It is perfect. It's a perfect final boss theme. I love that soundtrack.
I think the best word to describe Diamond and Pearl soundtrack is grand, and it has a lot of scale. It's very understated. There's a lot of pianos, and there's a lot of like, whereas Gen 3, the Hoenn games, there's a lot of horns, and there's a lot of just blasting in your face, a lot of crisp melodies. There's a lot of layered stuff, a lot of like subtle pianos. The sound font is pretty understated itself.
Oh my
God.
Well,
as things go,
we're not gonna give love
their...
just like as much as I want to. We're not gonna give love to just Gen 4. I love Gen 5 just as much.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Gen 5. We could talk. There's another game if we not Pokemon related, but like I've been kind of thinking
like
about
the
this.
sound font.
No. Just like in general, like there's games where I feel very nostalgic towards, but when the nostalgia kicks in, it's more sad. Where it's like, man, I miss being this young. I miss like, I could easily go back and picture in my mind, I was here, I was this age, I had this to worry about in my life. It was just like so, I don't know. And like Pokemon Black and White is one of those games in particular. Like I love how comfy it is. It's weirdly comfy for a game that like is argued as the darkest game in the series.
Really?
I would say, well, a lot of people say Black and White has the best story, which the only thing is that it has a story compared to the other games. But it's not anything.
It has the best story.
It's not anything spectacular. It's just the fact that a Pokemon game has an actual like story. But like Black and White is just so comfy, and it reminds me a lot of when I was like 11 and my aunt lived in Palo Alto. This is where the Palo Alto fall joke comes from, where like I would play this game around autumn. And I would be staying at my aunt's apartment when she lived in Palo Alto, and just I remember like all the music, and I see like all the autumn leaves, and like I don't know, Black and White is like. But then I think it's like, man, I miss when times were that simple. I miss when things were like that.
Yeah.
So like that's how like nostalgia kind of gets me when it comes to Black and White. But other than personal attachment, fantastic game, fantastic.
Yeah.
Tell me about why you love Gen 5.
Well, it's because it's the first one I played when I was a kid. unironically, like that's the main reason. It's just there's a lot of nostalgia that goes into what's your favorite generation. People born in 2002, 2003 are going to say Gen 5. People born in 1999, 2000, 2001 are going to say Gen 4. I got into the Pokemon series late.
Dude, think about it. Kids that are
people that are like
born
my
in
favorite
2000,
generation is Gen
2009. They're gonna say like Gen 6. They're gonna say that.
2009.
Born in 2009.
Earlier than that. Gen 6 came out in 2013.
Ooh, they might not actually be old enough.
I remember I was on TikTok, and I saw this one TikTok. It was like, me and my friend's favorite Pokemon at each type, right? It was like grass type, and one of the guys put Chestnut.
Oh,
I was like,
man.
holy shit, we're at the level where these are Gen 6 babies.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
It's crazy.
Oh, man.
But.
Okay, I love Gen 5 because it introduced me to this series. I think Gen 5 is a really great place to start from a Pokemon perspective, especially the first games, Black and White, because those games were like a soft reset for the series.
Yes.
You can't use Gyarados for the 4th time or the 5th time in those games. It was 151 new Pokemon. You were forced to use the new Pokemon, right? That's what upset a lot of people. They're like, I can't use Crobat. Oh my gosh, my favorite. I can't use Crobat.
Not until post game. It's better than what happened now. Think about now with the Dex cut.
Yeah.
But like I love that. That's one of my favorite parts of Black and White. And I thought that was really ambitious, and I really wish they would do something like that again.
They're not going to, because the Pokemon Company is a bunch of cowards. But
oh well. Oh no. I mean, at least we got our favorite gens out of the way.
Yep.
At least with Pokemon, I think I didn't touch on this in our first episode. It's been like making pop culture news that the Pokemon anime is coming to a stop. And just like the impact that the anime had on me is really crazy. Like Ash Ketchum was my childhood hero. He was like, bro never gave up. Bro never ever he never let himself just he took the hits, but he just kept walking straight. And I don't know, it's just kind of inspirational as a kid just to watch that type of guy. And it's just like, I don't know. It's like Ash, when you think about it, is a really good character for like a kid to watch.
Yeah.
Like growing up with. And all these parents saying, my mom told me I couldn't watch Pokemon because she's like, it's too violent. And I'm like, what? It's just even the concept of Pokemon is just like I never understood why people thought it was not cool. I know that sounds really nerdy, but it's just fighting monsters. That is the coolest shit ever to me. I'm sorry. That's just so cool to me. I don't see how people find it lame. And then everyone started thinking it was cool when Pokemon Go dropped. No, everyone switched up.
I remember.
Hey, everyone switched up because everyone stopped making fun of me.
Where were you when Pokemon Go?
Where was I?
Yeah.
Well,
July
I beta tested.
2016.
I beta tested. You could literally look at my Pokemon Go profile. That's when I made my account on the first day of release.
Yeah, me too. I was in Spain when it first happened.
Oh, really?
People were still playing it all over there. It was crazy.
I remember because I got made fun of. I got made fun of for being a Pokemon fan, and it gave me a lot of trauma as a kid because I got bullied a lot. A lot of the time when I would get bullied as a kid, it would be because of Pokemon, but I never it was just something that I loved. And then 2016 comes out. Oh, everyone loves Pokemon now. Pokemon is just mainstream. Hey, I'm happy. I'm happy about that. I'm happy people are getting rid of their weird bias for it. But I'm not gonna forget. Same people that were making fun of me are now
forgive your enemies, but remember their names.
That's true. That's true. Anyway, I think at least next.
Let me talk about my journey with Pokemon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
And I'm gonna make this kind of brief because I don't want to talk about everything.
Okay.
I started. Let's see. My aunt gave me a DS Lite when I was 10. And I remember playing Lego games, Mario games, all sorts of stuff like that. I went to my friend's house one time. They were playing Pokemon and Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And and I thought that was really cool. And then I got my mom to get me Pokemon Black and White. Loved the games. I really enjoyed playing them. I put so many hours into them. I got Black and White too. I have, I think, over 600 hours, unironically, into that save file of Black and White too. And that's just results from me playing the game, replaying it, going to different routes, trying to discover new things as a kid, because I didn't know that I had explored everything, right? I was just still like, what if there's a secret path over here? And like, like the exploration thing, right? And watching dumb ROM hacks and believing them. Pokemon, let's see here. After I got a 3DS, I played Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, X and Y, Sun and Moon. So I've been kind of keeping up with the series as they're released. But let's see, what other facets of the Pokemon franchise? The Pokemon anime. I watched it as a kid. I watched some parts as a kid. I distinctly remember the first episode I watched. It was a Gen 4 episode. You'll probably remember it because you're like the expert on this. It was a Gen 4 episode where Ash's Gligar evolves into a Gliscor.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to say my first episode of the Pokemon anime was the one where... So Ash trades his Ambipom, or his Apom, to Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
It evolves to Ambipom, and then she releases it. In the episode that Ambipom got released, that was the first episode that I watched. But it was such a dumb way to... It was like ping pong. It was like going to be like a ping pong Pokemon now.
Oh.
And it was so dumb. I remember as a kid, I was like, that's so stupid. I want him to keep the monkey. But then he did have a monkey.
Monkey!
He had Infernape.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So I watched it as a kid a little bit, but I didn't really keep up with it. And I got back into watching it in around summer 2019 because I'd get home from work at around 7 p.m., 8 p.m., something like that, crash on my bed, and then open my laptop, and the Pokemon Twitch channel would just be continuously streaming live streams, like, of the episodes and stuff like that. And when I started watching it, it was the Gen 5 episodes, the ones I would watch as a kid. So it was like I was revisiting this. I was like, you know, nostalgic and stuff like that. And it was all before I was going to college, so it was pretty neat. And it was a cool thing for me to do just after I got off of work, just relaxing. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, and I don't know how heavily you can relate to this, but I have kind of gotten into competitive Pokemon. I find it really fun, and I think there's a lot of really, really neat strategy and a lot of cool stuff that goes into playing competitive Pokemon.
My question for you is,
doubles. Yeah.
Is it comparable? What other game is it comparable to?
Chess.
Really?
Yeah. It's like more complicated than chess, right? Unironically, like because there's more like spinning parts. That's obviously, true. Right?
Yeah.
You have in the format that's usually played, you have 6 Pokemon, you bring 4 of them. You get to see the other person's 6 Pokemon, and you got to kind of guess what they're going to bring. You got to think about all these things like, okay, if I attack this, then he'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll lose this, and da-da-da, right? Or like, I predict that he's going to Tailwind, so I should Trick Room, or like, there's all this mind games and strategy that goes into Pokemon, and that's not leaving out like the actual preparation work and actual like team building and like calculations and stuff that goes into Pokemon. So like training a Pokemon so that it'll survive this specific move from this specific Pokemon, and then that'll like in turn result in a 2-hit knockout. And it's like all this crazy stuff that I didn't think I'd be able to understand, and now I'm just like understanding it, which is kind of cool. I'm no expert at competitive Pokemon, but I enjoy watching it, and I enjoy participating a little bit in it. So that's a neat part of the Pokemon franchise that I've gotten myself into.
Oh yeah, man. Freaking cool. Sorry, I was just kind of tired today. But no, it's really great to hear that. I can't believe that you actually like the Black and White anime. I hated it.
What's the one I watched as a kid?
This is one that made me like not like.
Wah. No Brock and Misty. That's all I'm hearing.
No. 1, no Brock and Dawn. 2,
It's not always black and white,
yeah.
but your heart always knows.
But I know Pokemon Day's coming up,
Yep.
and well, it's tomorrow. And I think my biggest wish. So usually they'll do a Pokemon Presents where they just announce what's coming for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Usually big game announcements. That's the one that everyone is like, waiting for. But that we just got a new generation, so it's gonna be some time till we get something as big as that. What we could see potentially is an add-on to the current
Probably
game.
some DLC or something.
But my personal wish is I hope now that the Nintendo Switch has Game Boy games on their online service, I really, really hope that we get to see Generation 1, 2, and 3 on the service. It would be so sick. Or just an announcement. It doesn't have to be the day of. Just an announcement of this like happening. It would be so cool. And even if they don't do it where it's like, oh, you have to pay separately for it, I would do it. I don't care. If it means playing like if it means a thorough re-release of Gen 3 on my Switch, I will definitely like be buying it.
I think
I will be there no matter what.
a lot of people, and this is kind of funny. A lot of people like talk about the decline in quality that the Pokemon games have gone through. And I think it's there. I think there is a clear decline in quality with these games. However, it's like I'm still gonna buy the game.
Yeah,
that's the thing
like,
with me.
It's
like I'm
series
still
that,
gonna buy the game. Like I still know I'm gonna get enjoyment out of it, so I'm still gonna buy it.
And like I think that the series, I think that it became a problem because the whole thing about Pokemon is that you can't. The games come out because they have to meet a quota. There's the anime you have to worry about. There's the trading card game you have to worry about. There's the manga you have to worry about, and they all have to coincide together. But the problem though is that all of those things have different production times and like the two probably most rigorous like things that need to like a lot more time than they have right now are the anime and the games. And I think a big thing that could help Pokemon is just going back to 2D sprites instead of 3D sprites.
It'll never happen, but
and
we can wish.
I wish. It would be so cool.
It would be really cool.
We've seen companies like Square Enix make 2D art absolutely beautiful. And I would love a game kind of like the Dragon Quest III remaster that's going to come out soon, or the Octopath Traveler. That's what I'm blanking on. A game like that, but in the Pokemon art style, and it would be so cool. But I think at least gameplay-wise, the series has innovated quite a lot. I think Legends was a very big step forward for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And although a very buggy mess, Scarlet and Violet were pretty damn fun. I had not had a good time with a Pokemon game. I did not like Sun and Moon. I did not like Sword and Shield. I'm biased towards BDSP because it's a remake of my favorite gen.
I think BDSP are the worst Pokemon games, period. Because just of how little effort was put into those games.
Filtered. But in regards, yeah, I know everyone hates BDSP. I can admit its problems, but like I'm biased. If it's just Diamond and Pearl, I'm gonna fucking play it.
If the Gen 5 remakes are like BDSP, I'm gonna cry.
That's gonna be so sad.
It's gonna be so sad. I don't want that to be the case.
I really don't either, man. But I mean, at least for Pokemon, I feel like that's all. I feel like that's all I really have to say right now, because I'm not in Pokemon fever right now. Like,
wait till tomorrow.
The way, yeah. Like, the way I go with video games is that there's a lot of series that I really love, but I'll kind of like spotlight a specific one for a period of time and then move on for a little bit. And like right now, that series is Mario Kart.
Talk about Mario Kart.
Can we talk about Mario Kart?
Yes.
Oh man, I think Mario Kart, aside from Pokemon, is maybe the only series that I will go and actively play the old ones rather than the new ones. But unlike Pokemon, it's not that the new ones are bad. It's not like the new Mario Kart games are bad. It's just that the old, like every Mario Kart has their own unique like thing going on. Hence why I will always play Double Dash. There will always be a period in the year where I just go on a Double Dash craze. And it is, I would argue, Mario Kart Double Dash, including the Mario, actually, I don't know. It's my favorite Mario Kart. I was going to say including spinoffs is my favorite Mario game. But like Mario and Luigi holds a very high. I don't know if you could beat Bowser. I don't know if you could beat Bowser's Inside Story. But
unmatched, bro.
And I know like Mario 64 is probably my favorite core series Mario game. That's my comfort game. That is like my
I can't play that game.
I love Mario 64. There's no bad Mario game. There really is not a bad Mario game.
Really.
There's only it's only bad in comparison to like New Super Mario Bros. 2 is probably the worst Mario game. But as a game that it's built, it's not a bad game. It's just boring compared to a lot of other Mario titles. But like Mario Kart is magical. I don't think anyone dislikes Mario Kart. If you dislike Mario Kart,
it's a really great party game, yeah.
It's a great party game. It's a great game just to kick back and have fun with. I can't tell
anyone could play it.
What'd you say?
Anyone could play it. Anyone can play Mario
and especially
Kart. It's very accessible.
In 8 Deluxe, now that with the smart steering and the auto acceleration,
I give it to my like my cousin who's like 4 years old, and he has a blast playing it, right?
Yeah.
And I can play with my cousin who's 4 years old. It's awesome.
I felt so accomplished because my girlfriend is not a video game player. She does not. It's
not
more
a girl
of like,
gamer.
She doesn't hate video games. She doesn't hate video games. It's more of like I'm just not good at them. And I forgot how, but I got her to play Mario Kart one time, and she got so hooked. And like now, she is like just as good as I am.
Wow.
And no, Callie kicks ass at Mario Kart.
My favorite Mario Kart game is the new one, 8 Deluxe. I think it's polished beyond belief. Like, the maps, the visuals are stunning. It's probably the best looking Switch game, period.
No.
What's better than it?
Metroid Prime Remastered.
Okay, I haven't played it. But, like, it looks beautiful. It handles perfectly. It has hella maps. One of my favorite parts of the Mario Kart series is the time trials. Because it's just you versus yourself. And it's like, you're not dealing with no bullshit items. You don't have to deal with, like, other people and, like, computers and stuff like that. It's just you racing against yourself, optimizing the shit out of tracks, and it's so fun for me.
Yeah, I love time. Like what I want to do. I've been on, like recently. I've been going back to Mario Kart Wii because I'm like, oh, I want to unlock all the characters. I want to do all that, and that game is hard. Why is that game so hard? Was I just like?
Are you playing with like a nunchuck?
Yeah.
Okay, because I cannot play with the steering like.
I
hate that.
I can't. I would always do the classic controller as a kid, and I would look so special. It was like the 3 other people playing with me, and then I'm there with like my little controller. They're like, he's cheating. He's cheating as an advantage. Like, no, skill issue. Like, sorry, not my fault.
Not my problem.
Not my problem. I love Mario Kart. Mario Kart's
a great series.
I've been on a Mario Kart.
Can we talk about Mario and Luigi?
Oh, yes. That's what I've been playing very recently.
Which one? Bowser's Inside Story?
Superstar Saga.
Superstar Saga.
So I'm going to go through... What'd you say?
The remake?
No, on Switch Online.
Oh, okay.
So, Superstar... So, Mario and Luigi is... So, Mario...
It's an RPG.
Mario is...
It's one of my first RPGs, actually.
Would you say one of your first RPGs?
I think I played it before Pokemon.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, so the Mario series has a lot of role-playing spin-offs. There's Paper Mario. There is the OG Super Mario RPG. And then there is also Mario and Luigi, which I cannot express just how much I love the gameplay of those games.
I love the humor of the games. I love, like, just how cute and comfy they are.
They're so good.
So I I got Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story from I think my uncle. He bought the game for me. He knew that I liked Mario, but he just got this game like not knowing it was an RPG or whatever, like not knowing it was like a spin-off or whatever. Just got it for me. I played it and I loved it. Just it's so, how do I describe this other than comfy? Like, it's just very soft looking art style, like something that
Comical.
a kid can understand. It's like, yeah, it's comical.
It's like a
kind
cartoon.
of. It's like a cartoon.
Like,
right?
I love the art style for those games.
It's pretty great.
I was going to say, I'm going to play through the entire series this year, I think. I'm going to get Superstar Saga, and I've actually never played Partners in Time. I've never played it. It doesn't get any attention. I love Bowser's Inside Story.
The best.
Is the best one. It is the best one.
Definitively.
And I know that Dream Team I didn't really like as a kid. And apparently it's not that popular with people. And then Paper Jam was the last one until they remade Superstar Saga, Bowser's Inside Story, and then those two remakes. The series started declining in sales to the point where the studio Alpha Dream actually had to close. They had to close, which breaks my heart.
Yeah,
I would love a new one on Switch. It would make me so happy. And
I think a new one would be cool, but I don't think I need one. You know, like
just
Bowser's Inside Story has given me so much that I don't feel like I need any more.
The fact that we got Superstar Saga on Switch, that made me lose my mind when they announced that. I was so happy because those games are. I was like, you know what? I want to play Superstar Saga, and then I was just gonna get the remake on my 3DS, and then, hey, it's coming to Switch, and I'm like, oh my god, this is wonderful. So I've been grinding on that game lately, and I'm loving every bit of it.
Nice.
It is so awesome.
Nice.
Mario and Luigi, that's a great series.
Mm-hmm.
I know Zelda is a series that you just got into. Tell me
Relatively, yeah. I mean, I played, okay, as far as the Zelda series go, I played Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Breath of the Wild. The other ones I really haven't played. I know that's like I'm taking away my gamer license for saying that, but like it wasn't something that I was constantly seeking as a kid.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I felt like I forced myself to be into that series when I was younger, because it's just like, if this is like the Nintendo, like the second biggest Nintendo franchise, then I should get into it.
Yeah, or else I'm not a true fan.
They never clicked with me as a kid. I was just so stupid. And then I think that might be why I love. No. Four Swords was the first one that I beat. I was going to say Link Between Worlds. I'm a top-down Zelda guy. So, like, on the topic of Game Boy games on Switch, I finally get to play Minish Cap, which is, like, I've heard is pretty damn good. And I genuinely really want to play, like, and I want to go, and I played a little bit of Link to the Past. Love Link to the Past. I really hope, I think the Oracle games are going to come soon, too. Shout out to Bruin J, who called earlier. He said he'd let me borrow his Link's Awakening. That's also on Switch too, but I think I'd want to play the
OG
remake.
version.
But yeah, like I love top-down Zeldas so much. That's like my shit. I love those more than 3D Zeldas, but 3D Zeldas are great. I love Breath of the Wild. That was crazy.
I put an ungodly amount of hours into Breath of the Wild. It's one of my favorite games ever. And I think, and this is just something that I really like and really seek in games, is the engine and mechanics, and just being free. Like
Did you like the weapon breaking system or no?
I didn't mind the weapon breaking system because it's like yeah, it's annoying, but like it forces you to just like use different weapons and stuff like that.
I never hated it. I never really
hated
disliked
it. Because like if weapons didn't break, I'd just find a great weapon and use that the entire game.
It makes it easier.
Yeah,
right?
It makes things easier. But the mechanics in that game are very great. allows the player to be very creative, and that's something that I look for in games. So like that game, has great engine mechanics, weapons, or like stuff like that. Another one of my top 5 games ever, Metal Gear Solid 5. It has impeccable like mechanics and stuff like that. Like those 2 games are, I think, like kindred spirits to each other, you know? They're like very similar in like the open world format, with like being the freedom of exploration and the freedom to approach things as you want.
I said it earlier, and I feel like if anyone that knows me is listening, they were like, "What? That's your favorite game of all time?" I thought it was. Yes. Okay. Like, I now that I have the platform, I have to talk about Persona 5.
Oh,
I have to talk about Persona 5. That game changed my life. That is a game that had the same impact on me as Pokemon did, where it was like I played it and I was like, it reminded me. I have not played a game since I think when I first played Pokemon Heart Gold that really, really reinstated that video games are an art form. Or, you know, there's games like Breath of the Wild.
His favorite game of all time is Persona 5, and yet he won't watch anime. It's fucked up.
Okay. I have other things to do.
But Persona 5, and you won't give it a chance? It's fucked up.
I love Persona 5. I love its writing. I love the gameplay. I think gameplay-wise, I'm a big JRPG guy. It is the single best JRPG ever made. And I know people will say Final Fantasy VI. People will say Chrono Trigger. People will say Earthbound.
Madden 2007.
What?
Go on.
You're a Scott the Woz fan, aren't you? Oh my God.
What?
That was a Scott the Woz reference.
No, it was a Donkey reference, but keep going.
Okay. I just don't. I think Scott the Woz is a little overrated. But basically,
You hear that, Varunjit?
The deal is like it is the best JRPG ever made from a gameplay side. It is just so seamless, and like it inspired me to like if I ever create a game, I want combat as seamless and I know when you get through the game more, Pauly, when you eventually pick it up again, like you're gonna realize this as you unlock more mechanics and you get further and oh man.
It's a long ass game, is what I've heard.
It's a long game, but it is worth it. And if more specifically, Royal is the best version because of all the quality of life improvements. And the new ending really changed like the way I look at life in general. Like for something to do that for me, I feel like, and like that's the thing I tell people, like Persona 5 like changed like my life in the regard of like how I think, and they're like, a video game did that? I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro. This is the same as a movie that like could do that for you. Like, what is stopping like your bias and this idea that video games are just flashing colors? It stops the medium from being recognized as something that it's worth, and people put
it is getting more recognition, which I will
people
say
put their
fast.
lives in these fucking projects. People put everything that they have into making these experiences. I really hate when people say video games aren't art because it is so
I think
insulting.
something that muddles up that conversation for a lot of people is the amount of garbage that floats around. Because there's a lot of garbage.
And it got way worse
That's
with
the
mobile
issue.
gaming.
Yeah, mobile gaming, but like I'm talking about the kinds of stuff that are like that market themselves as like earnest attempts at like art and shit, but like aren't. Or like unfinished stuff and early access stuff that never gets finished and buggy messes and microtransaction fueled games and multiplayer games that are like unfair and stuff like that. Like
So
the main thing that comes to mind right now is Ubisoft
Yes.
or EA. There's just a lot of garbage that flows around the game industry, and I feel like in order to appreciate video games, you need to filter that out pretty heavily too.
you know what? I want to get into something kind of so if the thing about me, if you don't know about me, is the reason why I'm at Chapman is because I want a career in the video game business. I love the marketing. I love consumer insight and strategy. That is like what makes a game sell. How do we market it? That is like what gets me. And I am also like I'm always having my eye on what's going on in the industry. And the shift towards live service games and battle passes has been due to Fortnite's success. It's been so terrible on the industry because games are coming out with no content. They save for later updates and then even then, if you want most of it, you got to put a paywall. There's a huge ass paywall and no one wants to play anymore. And even then, the game doesn't even get preserved because it's a live service game. So then the big shock after a year of being released and they push out all the content that should have been out at release as free updates, boom, the game dies. That's just how it is.
I think the grandfather of multiplayer games, of modern multiplayer games, and my favorite game of all time, just totally shits on these live service games and the ideals behind them. That is Team Fortress 2. It's been around for literally, what year is it? 15 years? It came out in 2007.
Wow.
So 16 years almost, right?
Wow.
Which is fucking nuts, right? The community's great. And I think what separates it from a lot of these games that just come out, battle pass, and then just like burn through content and then disappear.
Look at Multiverses right now.
I never played Multiverses.
It lost 99% of its player base.
Well, yeah, because it was like a fad. There's a lot of games that are like a fad.
Yeah.
But you enjoyed Multiverses, didn't you?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
Hey. If it's a Smash clone, I'm going to have fun with it. I'll tell you what I enjoyed more, though, was Nick All-Stars. That game
deserved... also a fad.
What?
That was also a fad.
That game deserved way more justice. That game is the Melee, the Smash Bros. Melee, like, clone that everyone's waited for. What?
And that it's buggy?
It's buggy. It's fast-paced. It's got recognizable characters. They mock some Melee tech. It's got all the tech in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was so perfect. But what happened? And here's another problem in the industry: corporate meddling, where we have to push this forward, and who cares about the reception? We're getting a paycheck because kids are going to buy this because SpongeBob is on the cover. It's BS.
Well, when you get into the game industry, you're going to change that.
I'm going to change that.
I believe in you, dude.
I'm going to save the game industry. I promise. I will.
He will.
I will. No more. I want another 2017 again. I want another 2007 again. 2017 was the best year for gaming.
2007 was pretty good, too.
2017, just right off the top of my head, Persona 5, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Cuphead, the Crash remakes, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, 1-2 Switch. Did you ever play that?
Switch.
Did you ever play 1-2 Switch? I got that with my Switch.
I played it before, like at a friend's house, but it's like a demo.
It's pretty fun. It's actually, you know what? It's pretty fun.
All right. 2007. Mass Effect, BioShock, Portal, Team Fortress 2, Halo 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, World of Warcraft. Maybe that's just an expansion.
You're missing one.
What am I missing?
Mario Galaxy.
Oh, Mario Galaxy. Yeah. Didn't Diamond and Pearl come out then, too?
Yes.
2006.
Or 2006. I think 2007 in the States.
Oh, probably. Persona 3? Did that come out in 2007?
No, I don't. Did it?
Maybe. I don't know. Uncharted? Did Uncharted come out then?
Yes, I think so. Because I think the PS3 released that year.
But there was a lot of great releases in 2007.
2007 was a good year.
Mm-hmm.
So 2027.
Oh, yo, this is gonna be sick. 4 years from now, we're all gonna be like, this is the greatest year for games ever.
I actually, you know what? I anticipate. I think that's gonna be the year Nintendo releases a new console.
Nintendo.
The Switch
is makes sense. It's old as shit. It's like 5 years old.
The Switch is like 6 years old now.
Damn, that's like really, really old for a game console.
It's still like selling.
It's still kicking.
It's almost reached 1 billion in software sales.
That's crazy.
It already outsold the Wii.
Wow. That's mind-boggling.
I remember Miyamoto said that he wanted the Switch when the Switch was coming out. He's like, I want it to outsell the Wii. I want it to be the best. And I was like, no, that's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna, because the appeal, the mass appeal that the Wii had is just unmatched, and we still haven't seen anything like it.
My biggest thing for next, I think for the past like 2 years, everyone's been demanding for a Switch Pro or a new Switch, and like I've been kind of like, I don't really care. Like I think the Switch still has a lot of life, but I think that now it's time when you really look at it in the grand scope. And my biggest thing is, in order to keep that Switch fan base, they have to have backwards compatibility. That is a big thing.
Like for the new console?
For a new console,
okay.
They have to have the Switch backwards compatibility.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I really enjoyed my Nintendo Switch. I think it's really great. I think it, like I said, nothing's going to compare to the appeal that the Wii had. Like, you had people in retirement homes playing Wii Sports. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't get that with the Switch.
Yeah.
But I think it has a very bright future ahead of it, and it's going to be really interesting to see where this stuff goes. The other thing I want to talk about, this is kind of non sequitur. Games as a live service, I want to go back to that, because I will admit, as someone who has a PC and plays PC games, I enjoy some multiplayer games that are live service games.
Oh, like I love Fortnite. I love Fortnite, like genuinely.
Yeah, Fortnite's a great game.
Fortnite.
We're gonna do a explain a Fortnite term segment some other time in the show. I've been playing the shit out of Overwatch 2, even though Blizzard is a very bad company,
I am not playing any Blizzard games. I respect women,
cool.
So I will not be playing any Blizzard games. That's just how I am.
I just love playing. I just love the teamwork aspect. It's just a really polished game. It's just so fun, but even that has shitty battle pass issues. Even like all these multiplayer games have adopted the same thing. Actually, you know what? The one multiplayer game that I think is very important and it's been holding out, another Valve game, Counter-Strike. No battle pass. Well, actually, they do the battle pass occasionally, like maybe once per year, and it only lasts for like a month or two. But it's just survived off of its multiplayer and competitive appeal, which is really rare for a game to do, especially one that's more than 10 years old. So I think that's something to be congratulated for, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever played Counter-Strike.
I used to play it when I was younger. My cousin bought it for me.
And
I played it, and then now I haven't played it in a fat minute.
It's like sometimes my friends and I will all look at each other, we'll be comp, and then we all get into competitive Counter-Strike. We'd win a game, we'd feel good, we'd play another game, we'd lose terribly, everyone would get mad at each other, and we'd all leave. And it's just, those experiences are just so fun for me. even if we do lose and we do yell at each other. But there's just so much. It's kind of remarkable how that game has been able to hold the attention of so many people just off of its competitive, which a lot of people like don't a lot of games nowadays don't have staying power because of their competitive or because of their mechanics and stuff like that, you know? Mm-hmm. It's like there has to be a battle pass, or there has to be these new skins that are or loot boxes that are like edging me on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's really interesting.
Got you. But yeah, man, I feel you.
Are we gonna wrap up?
I think we're ready to wrap up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yes, this was a very, very deep conversation about a lot of games.
More chill episode.
Yes.
Today.
Yes. We did talk a lot.
Oh man.
So we're gonna let we're gonna let that sink in. We're gonna let that sink in. Next week. You want to talk about next week?
Wait, you said let the sink in. What sink?
When you're cold, they're cold. Let that sink in.
What sink?
The sink.
Let that sink in. What's that sink? There's no sink out there.
The sink is outside, and you need to let it in.
Oh, do I? Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a sec. I'll be right back, team.
So, anyways, next week we're gonna have Cesco's friend on the show. It's gonna be pretty great. We're gonna have some fun. Just our normal Jack and Cesco silly show.
You guys can't
As
see
normal.
it, but the sink is in. I repeat, the sink is in.
Let him in. Okay.
But
You want to wrap up?
We will see you guys next time. Take care.
Thank you for listening to
Two.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jack and Cesco in the morning. Thank you guys. Love
See
you.
y'all. Love you, family. Bye.